Hey everybody. I did an alignment reading today and I had to share it because when I pulled cards around it, the topic that came up was disappointment around love and reciprocity. Well, as the message unfolded, um, it morphed into this message that there are three steps that we need to do in order to get over our disappointments in love and reciprocity. As I was doing it, and paying attention to the messages that were coming forward, it was just so phenomenal because it's something that was a revelation to myself as well as to those who were recipients of it. And this topic of disappointments around love and reciprocity has been coming up over and over and over. So I had a spiritual sister of mine who texted me and said, finish this sentence. Her name is Dora. And it took me a day to get back to her because I was trying to answer it in a little savvy way. I mean, I do have clients and people that I work with. And so I'm thinking, wow, why is this taking me so long to answer? Because every answer that I could come up with would always lead me back to myself because that's how I coach. Everything that you want, everything that you need always is going to come back down to you being able to provide that for yourself. And, so after I couldn't get around that, I just went on and just dropped my ego, left my head, and went into my heart. And I just said, reciprocity. So, reciprocity is something that I look for. Um, Not really tit for tat, but I like to call it a recycling. Something where something is just constantly moving, where it's not stagnant, where I give and receive. The people in my life give and receive. I give and receive, they give and receive. I give and receive, they give. Everybody is alive, everybody's whole, everybody's well. Well, this is a very idyllic way of looking at things. And so when the time comes where you're not getting what you perceive you should get, um, I would just get to a point where I would just kind of shut down a little bit and not even realize I was shutting down. And that shutdown creates stagnant energy in me, right? And being that I actually teach this, it's still a habit that I have. Um, so when I thought about it, the message was sacrifice, increase, and change. Those were the three words: sacrifice, increase, and change. Sacrifice what? Well, sacrificing my perspective around love, not just male female love, but love in general, friends, children, distant family members, co-workers. Um, and when I thought about the whole sacrificing, we always look at sacrificing as something that's very negative. And it came to me that sacrificing is something that you do to show your commitment to your desire. Well, what desire? Well, when you think of your fleshly desires, those can become inexhaustive, endless, never satisfied, right? So that means your perspective is always seeking to find the loopholes in the way someone is dealing with you. And when that happens, you set yourself up for disappointments, right? So, a true desire that can be satisfied is a soul desire. So, reaching deep in your soul and asking your soul, what do you need? And listening to that soul whisper back its need, because that need is going to be able to be satisfied by source. That need is going to have be able to be used. It's going to be useful. That need is always going to also be something that you can provide for yourself, because we all come here with a storehouse of resources to fulfill our soul's needs. So, getting in touch with your soul's desire and sacrificing your fleshly perspective, the thirsty perspective, the false perspective, laying that on the line and listening to that soul desire, that is going to lead you back to the I am. So, that's the first step. The second step is going to be increase. Increase around love. Well, how do you increase love? You increase love by increasing it within yourself. And the best way to do that is to constantly remind yourself, I am enough. All of my negative thoughts go back to, I am not enough. Now, even if I'm saying someone else is not enough or something else is not enough, this is not enough money, this is not enough time, this is not enough food, this is not enough, these are not enough clothes, this is not enough love, this is not enough, whatever. What I'm sending myself signal wise is I am not enough. Because once you understand that you are enough, what happens is you project that out. So whenever you receive something, you're grateful. You say thank you. Why? Because you're already full. Why? Because you're already enough. So anything that you get from anybody else is just a cherry on top. Doesn't mean you're settling for less. It doesn't mean that you're letting people get by with being unfair and unjust, which we'll get to that later in regards to how much they give and how much you give. The bottom line is you're not even focused on that. Why? Because you're coming from an abundant, an inner abundant mentality. And when you do that, the more you do that, the more you constantly swell with this love, right? And when you do that, you're so full. And whenever you're walking around and you're full, people want to give. They want to give. They want to give. Because most people say they want to give where there appears to be a need. But there is an insecurity there. When someone's really needy, deep down inside, there's something in you that feels like, wow, I can't fulfill that need. I can't fulfill that need. But if someone already pretty much has a good foundation and their needs are met, but maybe they could use a little assistance, something inside you says, I'd like to contribute to that. I'd like to help with that. So getting yourself out of the red and into the black, you don't have to be completely full. Nobody is completely full. You know, we all have a constant need to fulfill ourselves because we're constantly expanding. We're constantly growing, even if we don't realize we are. Because pain and experience and wisdom, all of that expands us. So the more expanded we are, the more love we can handle, the more abundance we can handle. And your desire will continue to grow. And you'll continue to feel like, hey, um, I think I could take a little bit more of this or a little bit more of that. I think I can like house that. And people see that space there and they will say, here, how'd you like a little more love? Or how about a little more attention? Or how about a little more money? Or how about a little bit more um, help with cleaning the house or cooking food? Or you'll find that the more content you are with the expansion that you are displaying, the more people want to fill those spaces without you even asking. So once you establish I am enough, people want to contribute. And then we want to address reciprocity because that's going to automatically spill over into that because you're getting that reciprocity and you didn't even ask for it. You didn't even know it. So now the change comes in your perspective about reciprocity, about give and take. It's not like you're expecting so much of something in return from a place of keeping score, but you are naturally in the flow of reciprocity, which is great. So now you're actually in the vortex of reciprocity. You're like in it. You got the momentum going, and people are contributing to your cause or to your energy that you already have going. But the whole point of it is you had to get it going for yourself. You had to tap into your own resources in order to do this. When you refuse to do that, you're always going to be at the mercy of someone else. So I hope that this little tidbit of information on the 3 steps to aligning yourself in order to overcome disappointment in love and reciprocity was informative. Also, reconstruct the world by reconstructing your mind. I know you can do it because you are enough. Bye.